Now, I'll take that up another notch. We, myself, yourself, we need to be following Jesus, that they see us doing things, not because we want, like, hey, do as I say, not as I do. That old additive where it's like, I'm just going to do bad things, but don't do it. Just do what I say. No, you need to live it out. The kids will do more from what they see you do than mainly what they hear you say.
Right. Well, it goes back to what we talked about in the beginning. You impart who you are.
Yeah.
So if I'm not biblically deep, or if I don't have anything, then I have nothing to impart into my children. Yeah. So, and I think a big conception or whatever that the church has is that, or Christians, is that the church will teach my kids biblical.
The misconception that it's our job to do it for you.
Right. Or that just taking them to church on a Sunday, like they're getting the Bible, they're getting tea, and that it's like, that's just a little portion.
Well, maybe an hour and a half on a Sunday. If you go to a church one day a week, which is actually more than, statistics say.
The average is twice a month, right?
Once or twice a month, unfortunately. But if you go there let's do that math, okay? Let's say you go to church twice a month. That's 3 hours, approximately. A month. That they may be in a biblical setting.
Right.
There's no way that's going to catch on.
Enough.
It's not a habit.
It's like malnourished.
Oh my gosh.
It's leaving your children malnourished.
Yeah, it's just like saying, hey, let's eat food for just 3 hours once a month.
Right.
So the thing about it is you have to put that into your daily routine. Now, you may be new to the faith, or maybe you're just discovering Jesus, or maybe you're trying to institute or involve Jesus more in your life. So you take it step by step. But we've been raised in the church. We've been raised in his churches, we talked about. And so a lot of times the things that we do naturally are infused with our spirituality. So like, for example, one of our kids was going to possibly go on a date. Let's put it that way. I'll keep it very ambiguous, right? And so my first thing was I started to pray, and one of my other kids was like, "Oh my gosh, you're gonna pray?" I'm like, "Of course we're gonna pray about that."
Of course.
Well, it's not even a date, but I mean, I'm praying. And the thing about it is, as a father, of course I want to pray for that. But on the other hand, I want them to get used to going to God in prayer.
Exactly.
It's not just, oh my gosh, all hell's breaking loose in my life, I need to go to God. No, thanking him, right? Thanking him in prayer, thanking him for what he's done. We've involved our kids in some of the asks that we've done before the Lord, like maybe said, look, we need this. We need God to come through. It's going to be a miracle if it happens. Let's pray together. And we both of us have seen it, but you've even heard recently some of the kids, what they're praying for at night, and how their prayers are being answered.
Yes. What I will say too, you can start there if you're not already doing it, is those simple prayers at night, and how we started and began with our kids, because our kids are like every other child, when we ask them to pray, no, I don't want to. So we would begin by, we prayed. We would pray over them. We would pray whatever we felt for that night. It didn't have to be long or drawn out. It wasn't anything grandiose, they're children. But then eventually it was like, can I pray?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll pray now.
Yeah.
And now we go into the room to say goodnight, put them in bed, and it's like, I'm going to pray, then Marcus is going to pray, then she's going to pray, and so it became what started out as, nobody wants to pray, to now everyone has to say a little prayer at night. So you'll get there.
And the older kids, they go through their seasons, right? Like there's sometimes where we'll be going around, they'll pray, and then sometimes it's like, I'll pray. And listen, there's grace for that, right? So, the question again is, instead of saying, am I a good parent, is, am I leading my kids spiritually? And so that should be a better indication of your parenting, is how do they view Jesus?
Listen to the full 10 and 2 podcast on parenting for more tips, encouragement, and help.